Cheds. How's everybody doing? Thanks for hanging out here with me today. It's Thursday, January 2nd, 2025. Thanks for hanging out here with me. This is part of the Quick Market Update series on YouTube at Cheds Trading. Most of you probably know me from Twitter, where I'm at Big Cheds. I teach professional technical analysis, Japanese candlestick theory, classical charting. I'm a newbie helper. I'm a chart nerd. I published 3 books. 4th one is on the way. Most of that's free. Check it out here on my channels to get that. You want to start by watching the Masterclass technical analysis tutorials. I think you'll benefit greatly from that. And again, if you're interested in a longer form, check me out at Bitcoin Live, where I do twice a week full market analysis. And I'm part of the best team in the world that studies crypto. So go ahead and check that out. So folks, how's everybody doing? Let me know in the chat. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what's going on. I'll see if I can answer your questions. These are quick updates, of course. I probably will not be able to read your messages, let alone respond to all of them. But I appreciate you folks. So thank you for being here. Taylor, the song is called Church of 8 Wheels. Taylor just asked the name of the song. So let's get on. Let's get going. All right. I picked out a couple tweets. So we talk about my profile. So I'm more than a little bit surprised how many of you got bearish again at high time frame support. And we've talked a lot about the potential head and shoulders. Again, a head and shoulders doesn't mean anything until it either completes or it invalidates. And I spent a lot of the time over the last week or so going over that. But it was just, for me, it was very clearly support in an uptrend. Weekly time frame, it's price testing a rising EMA 8. That's incredibly bullish. Price testing, the bottom of a support range in an uptrend. And so it's just, I don't understand people's inclination to just get bearish so quickly. And here is my tweet. Again, people ask, oh, Chad, why do you even tweet this stuff? What's the point? Well, you can't watch a chart all day. You're working a day job. I put this stuff out for you when the price is at a key level, and then boom, testing critical support, a nice bounce off of that level. So people got really bearish once again at key support. We'll see what happens going forward. It could very well complete. We could reject here at a right shoulder, maybe form like a complex right shoulder. Fine. I'll play it level to level. I don't need to label it. I've spent a lot of time in my YouTube updates over the last week. Check them out. I was just making a list. The December 30th video, go to 8 minutes, 30 seconds. December 28th video, go to 3 minutes, 40 seconds. December 27th video, go to 8 minutes, 15. I spent a lot of time talking about, whether or not this is a head and shoulders, why it matters, why we even need to give it a label. So what else do we have to talk about? Update on the 4-hour. This was from earlier today. Nice bounce, nice lower high break. And here we go. So if Bitcoin breaks 100K and that right shoulder invalidates, all you head and shoulders folks need to pivot quickly. And that just basically means when a reversal pattern fails, you want to take a long, right? And again, because most reversal patterns will fail, trends tend to continue. But if you're calling it a head and shoulders, need to go long at 100. What else? So this was an interesting tweet I wanted to talk about. I'm trying to create educational content here. These are not full market reports, in-depth Bitcoin reports. That's, of course, Bitcoin Live. These are for fun, casual streams. And I'm looking for, let's make some educational content. So my good buddy, Big Jonas, talked about a bear cross here. So with this 612 EMA bear cross, underside rejection is important to observe. So I made a couple observations on this that I thought would be worth talking about here today, right? So note how weak the momentum is on that cross. And what do I mean by that? Well, look at the blue line. It's like barely crossing the yellow, right? If it had crossed here with the first move down, you would have had momentum on the cross, right? It's almost a sideways cross, meaning a muted weak signal. So what does that mean, right? The whole point of a moving average cross is the idea that you have a longer term moving average. Let's do it this way. You have a longer term moving average, right? And then you have a shorter term moving average that comes, and then there's a drop. That's momentum. But if it kind of does it like that, that's kind of a weak cross. You're more likely to see those MAs flatten out and go sideways together, which is what I talked about in my response to Big Jonas. The price action actually suggests the moving averages will move together in the near term. And for this cross to have really any significance, you would want it to happen after that first price drop. Right here, first price drop, bulls rallied, you didn't get the cross. So the whole point of a moving average, I talk about this quite a bit in Trading Wisdom, right? I have a whole section, I have a chapter on moving average basics. And the whole point is that, for example, moving average crosses in this sideways environment here are meaningless because there's no trend. The whole idea of a moving average cross is you need a trend to reverse, right? A reversal candle like a hammer, you want it to come after a move down rather than a move sideways. And so the price action I was pointing out, and everything in TA, Eastern and Western TA, combining them, it's about context and understanding this is a very muted cross. So if you're going to talk about a moving average cross, if you're going to kind of add it into your analysis, you need to understand how to use moving averages. You want momentum on the cross, for it to be significant. All right. And then the last tweet that I had here that I wanted to discuss is any trade that makes you feel uncomfortable should be closed immediately. And so I'm working on book 4, Trading Journal right now. I'm working on the emotions section and about being cognizant or aware of your emotions. And a lot of time this happens, you're uncomfortable because you have too much money in play, right? Your position size is too large. Go ahead and cut that position size in half, and you'll see that your position's a lot easier to manage. You also are probably lacking conviction in your plan. Every time you put money into play, it needs to be based on a well-defined idea, an idea you could explain to your friend who's a skeptic and say, well, this is the trade we should take and why. This is why we went long here, and I talked about going long there on a retest because it's support level in an uptrend. And you don't have to stick around forever. If the idea fails, you can bail with a minimal loss, right? Price interaction with key level. So if you're just kind of entering in the middle of a chop range, or you're jumping in after a big green candle where the price is overextended above the upper Bollinger Band, you're feeling nervous, you're feeling scared, you don't have conviction, you don't have a good plan, and you probably have too much money in play. So this is a really important lesson that I feel like I'll probably talk about, over time here with these updates. Let me jump back into the chat room and see how everybody's doing. I see some great comments already. I love seeing you folks. Santana Saraf, I finally caught you live. I've been a longtime fan. I learned a lot from you in Bitcoin Live. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I love the feedback. Hey, and even bad feedback. Tell me, be honest with me. Tell me what you think, what you like, what you don't like. It's all good. We're all part of the community. Chanda, I made it to the stream. Let's go. Make YouTube great again. There's a great quote. Thank you. And there's a bunch of chart requests, and I'll get to those. I'll try to do a couple of those in a minute. I saw an interesting question before the market, before the video started, I wanted to address. And the question was by Rian. Had said, hello from Warsaw. Hey, what's up, Rian? He said, I have a question for you. How is it that almost all charts I look at mirror Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin USDC, basically any stablecoin pair, Bitcoin, right? So this is the idea of relative strength and relative weakness. So, for example, let's say the whole market is in a drop, okay? The whole market's consolidating, and we put in our first bottom, come back, and that second bottom. Now, this is not a double bottom. This is a double test. But let's say Bitcoin does this. Double test. It's, again, not a double bottom until it breaks the trough, right? Peak and trough, time interval, price distance, double bottom. So let's say this is Bitcoin, okay? So that's the par, right? Let's say we have another one. We'll call it, Bitcoin Cash, all right? Goes down, sets the low. Now this one goes a lower low and comes back up. Sure, you have a spring. That's fine. This gives you a nice entry on the loss. This is a W with a lower low, but this has relative weakness to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a higher low structure. Let's take a look at a third example. Let's call it Sol. All right, Sol comes down, boom, comes and sets the peak and a higher low W. So now you have a W with a higher low on that second thrust, okay? This has relative strength to Bitcoin, right? So you want to be understanding how to look for relative strength, relative weakness. You want to know what the Bitcoin chart is doing. And then, so for example, now Bitcoin's trying to recapture MA50. You can look to any random chart and look at price in relationship to the MA50. For example, understand if it has relative strength or weakness. Let's go to FTM. It's weak compared to Bitcoin. Here's the 50. The price is down here, right? Let's look at Sol. It's weak compared to Bitcoin. Price is below it. What's something that could be higher? Maybe H bar. There you go. Relative strength to Bitcoin, right? So it's about understanding, and it should start with the Bitcoin chart. You should be studying this and have this imprinted in your brain. You don't need BTC pairs because you can intuitively, with your muscle memory, look for relative strength and weakness. So it's a good question, but you want to be targeting relative strength. You want to be looking thinking about what is the strongest, because if the whole market flushes, that's what you want to target. So, and again, I go into this in great detail in the Masterclass webinar series. Let's check around in the chat room to see how everybody is doing. John says, that squeaky voice. Is that me? Do I have a squeaky voice? Someone said, I just followed you. I think you might be my biggest fan. Well, I am your biggest fan. I don't know if you're saying that you're mine, but I'm your fan. Hello, Cheds. Nice to see you. Matt, Anime Peter. What's up, guys? Victor, Chanda. I love all these names. Satoshi River, nice to see you folks as well. Let's try to do maybe one or two requests, and then I'm going to go. These are quick market updates, full report in Bitcoin Live. I'll do another one of these quick ones tomorrow. This is Trading Wisdom for Real. Thank you, Martwan. Appreciate you, man. Let's see here. So what was a request that I can do? Let's pick one that might be interesting. All right, let's go ahead and look. I think someone asked for, come on, let's get a good one here. Sorry for the delay. You know, I'm trying to be a little bit more, a little bit picky. Yeah, Link. Let's take a look at Link. Sure. And Link actually has similar structure to Bitcoin in that you've got a really well-defined neck baseline. So you took a pretty easy long here in the retest of 2021, and now your risk is well marked. Now, there is some weakness to Bitcoin in relation to, it's over the 50, but it's actually lower than the prior high here. Bitcoin would be a little bit up here, around 24, if it was one-to-one with Bitcoin, at least in kind of this local candle series, right? Not, notwithstanding the MA50 on the daily, 50 candles. But, Link is an uptrend. It's a mild uptrend, price above a rising 200. It's broken on the high time frame. You can see it's still broken out of the price base right here, and it's above this important level, $19, $20. So, for the long-term health of the chart, you're going to want to see that hold. Just playing it very simply based on local structure. You took a long here at 2021, and if it fails to hold here, you just get out. You don't have to hold the trade all the way down. And again, with Bitcoin, you have another potential long trigger on a right shoulder invalidation there. Ethereum's pretty weak, at least in relation to Bitcoin. 3,500 flip would be a long. That's all I would really say on that. Bitcoin's a very, very easy to mark up channel right now. I think you could even stick on the 4 hour, not the 400. You can stick in the 4-hour chart. You know what your support level is. You know what your overhead invalidation. If you're a bear and it breaks 99.5 or 100K, I think you got to get out. Because one of the strongest signals in classical charting is a failed reversal pattern, and a lot of people called it in Head and Shoulders. That's fine. That's what it looks like. It's human nature to want to add a name or add a label to it, but it didn't give you any advantage because we're still just playing it level to level. Again, I went in really good detail in Head and Shoulders on the December 27th video, 8 minutes 15 seconds. December 28th video, 3 minutes, 40 seconds, and December 30th video at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. I really went into detail on the Head and Shoulders. Check that out. So, hey, thanks for hanging out. These are fun. The market looks like some green in the market. Things are bouncing. H-bar's looking pretty good. I like Mantra. There's a bunch of decent-looking charts out there. But again, we're running out of time. Looks like this update is about to end. This is part of the quick market update series on YouTube. Watch the Masterclass tutorials. Watch the free version of Trading Wisdom. I published 3 books. 4th one is on the way. Big Cheds on Twitter. Of course, founding analyst at Bitcoin Live. I've been doing market reports there for 7 years. I'll be back tomorrow. And sorry for it's quick. I know you guys have more questions. I'd love to talk to you for longer, but this is the format. And I hope you're having a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Big Cheds out. right, real quick. Good question. I got to answer this good question. Cheds, do you use the 50 MA or EMA? This is actually a really good question, and I talk about this in the Masterclass webinar, but again, exponential moving average, it's more sensitive to short-term price action. I actually think 50 is the most you can use, but I really only use 34. I use the 8 and the 34, not the 21, because I'm using the middle Bollinger Simple 20. You can use an MA 50. You can use an EMA 50. That's your choice, but I would definitely not go higher than 50 for an EMA. I like MA 50. I think it's worked well. You've seen the results here throughout the years if you've been following me. But check out my Masterclass webinar for information about moving averages. So I love talking. I'll be back soon. Thanks, folks.